Deadpool tells the story of a cancer patient named Wade Wilson being tortured to basically gain regenerative powers to cure his cancer, but ends up becoming a ugly looking motherfucker, and then basically hunting down the person responsible for that in order to basically hope that he can basically cure his new appearance. So guys, so Deadpool and Wolverine is currently in theatres. I'm going to go see it tomorrow. But I've decided that in the build up to it, I decided to I've rewatched the first two Deadpool movies, and I'm going to be reviewing the first one today. I'm gonna film my review for Deadpool 2 as well today, but I'm gonna release that review tomorrow, and then the day after that you'll be getting a review of Deadpool and Wolverine. So Deadpool was a very interesting movie for me, so because I believe that was like around when my parents were beginning to let me watch more violent content. Like before then, most violent stuff I've been watching would be primarily the MCU kind of movie, and maybe even some of the DC movies with like Batman, the Zack Snyder Justice League, Batman vs Superman, and such. But yeah, this was probably the most violent comic book movie I've seen in a pretty by the time they actually started letting me watch it, and so here's my review. So as far as what my laundry list of positives, the biggest one for me is Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. He is so good as that character. I mean, I could probably see maybe like someone doing their own take on maybe Deadpool, but Ryan Reynolds absolutely makes the character his own. He has such good comedic timing as Deadpool, as Wade Wilson as or Deadpool, whatever. And honestly, that's actually one of the main reasons why a lot of people didn't particularly like what they did with the character in X-Men Origins Wolverine, which, if you've seen Deadpool 2, you know, even Ryan Reynolds did not like. But yeah, so yeah, he's absolutely brilliant. And going along with that, they also, while he's Deadpool is definitely a very entertaining character to watch. They even actually do a really good job at actually making you sympathize with the character, to where like you have the scene after Deadpool escapes from Ajax, where he basically is going to go find Vanessa, and along the way he ends up basically getting a bunch of disgusted looks from people who basically saw his face, and it honestly like actually makes you feel sympathetic towards him. The fact that he basically doesn't feel like he doesn't feel like that Vanessa would accept him anymore, considering what other people think of him, and it just hits home deeply. But yeah, and going along with that, the story is actually really good. And I'll get more in my thoughts on how they structure the story of this later on, but I do think they did a really good job of structuring it to where essentially you have a lot some events of like what's going on in present time, but you also get a lot of most of his most, if not at least half the movie in the past, where you go through his entire and it's mainly told through narration from, or often or sometimes told through narration from Deadpool in the present time. And well, yeah, again, I'm going to be getting my other thoughts on that. I felt like the story was really well told. And as far as side characters, I think a lot of them are really good. You know, like but the bartender guy, I do think maybe could have had maybe been given a little bit more. I mean, he's all right. Dopender is amazing. I mean, especially in Deadpool 2, I'll get more. But even in this movie, he is such a great comic relief. Um, Colossus is also a very fun character. Considering that he's like a massive like brute, and despite that, he's such a family friendly kind of guy. He's kind of let's let's think like including like this one scene where he goes like he's like language, even like even trying to get Way to be more of a good guy while Deadpool is still trying to just be himself, be his own guy. Megasonic Teenage Warhead, alright character. She has some entertaining moments. Wouldn't say she's entirely into one of she's definitely not one of the best. Vanessa I also thought was a nice like obviously I wouldn't say she's got a whole lot to do and in this movie or Deadpool 2. But I do like how she's kind of like similar to Wade in like that. What I say I say sim. I mean, like they definitely have similar paths. If you according to their like first meeting or whatever. I mean, I don't exactly know if they're like joking or not. But they definitely go together really well, and I think their chemistry is really good. And yeah, that's basically all everything I've got to say positive. And honestly, I wouldn't really say I have any negatives with the movie. I honestly think this is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. But I'd say I'm gonna get into. There are some things I am mixed on. So as far as mixed elements, I'd say the first one is the structure of the movie. Now, I do think the movie is well structured. I do like how it kind of like goes back to the past and goes back to the present and whatnot. However, I do think that now I do like go back and forth. Spoiler alert for my review of Deadpool 2, but I usually go back and forth between which Deadpool movie I prefer, and I feel like more times than not I say Deadpool 2 is better. And I think it's primarily because of the structure of the movie. It has a really good story, but I wouldn't say it's as rewatchable as Deadpool 2 or maybe even some of the other X-Men movies. And rewatch value does play very heavily into my review of the movie. The other mixed thing is also the action. Like the action's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's like top tier action, but it's decent. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's all like that engaged is that intense. There's pretty good scenes, but I'd say it's mainly uplifted by the gore, which yeah. And the final thing I want to talk about, actually, final two thing, final thing I want to talk about is, Ajax or Francis, where I do think is a very dull villain. Like, I do think he's definitely a very creepy villain with his way he conducts his whole business. At the same time, I do think that I don't know. There wasn't really anything about him that I considered fun, and outside of what's my name, outside of that one moment, or kind of thing, there's not really much like back and forth between or any like kind of connection between Deadpool and him other than the revenge plot. So yeah, I didn't really think Francis was all that great of a villain, but he was pretty good. And final thing I do want to say, and it's basically a nitpick, but like we go through like Deadpool's entire origin story, and yet at no point did I ever feel like sorry, I can't exactly, but what I'm trying to say is, like, we go through his entire origin, learn, like, every detail about it, but the only thing I kept asking was, when did he meet Colossus? Because if you think about it, like, like, yeah, we go through his entire origin, and even Colossus even talks about how he's given Deadpool every opportunity to join the X-Men, and yet at no point do we ever learn how that happened, which I do think was a little bit. I wish we could have learned a little bit more there, but overall, absolutely love this movie. One of my favorite comic book movies of all time, and who honestly, I don't exactly know how Deadpool and Wolverine will stack up against this or the sequel, but I can guarantee you, whether it's on the whether no matter how good Deadpool and Wolverine is, all three of these first two movies are definitely gonna be neck and neck, and who knows if Deadpool and Wolverine can at least come close to the level of glory that was the first two movies. So overall, I'd say go add this to your shelf. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Deadpool. So, comment down below what your thoughts are, and tell me, have you seen Deadpool and Wolverine? Is it good? Please don't talk about spoilers in the comment section. I don't really want to know any specific details or whatever. I simply just want to watch the movie, knowing as little as possible. And tell me which one of the first two Deadpool movies is do you think is better, Deadpool or Deadpool 2? Let me know down in the comment section below as well. And yeah, keep an eye out for my Deadpool 2 review, and then later on I'll be reviewing Deadpool and Wolverine. But until next time, hope you have a good day, and remember, just because I'm autistic doesn't mean my opinion's invalid.